What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Back on the Bossman Show. For the show, Coach Braxton Harris will be on the Bossman Show. Campbell, the fighting Campbell out of the CA. Braxton, good to see you again. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, doing good. Appreciate you having me back on, man. Always enjoy spending some time with you.
Yes, indeed. Well, I got to ask you, man, how excited are you? Fall camp's right around the corner. Year 2, 4 years the head man here. How jacked are you and staff, man?
Yeah, absolutely. Year twos are a lot more fun than year ones. Got a little bit more established in that place, and I'm excited about 43 days till we get to play Rhode Island and open up conference play. And so we've been on the clock, and so fall camp is just kind of the next step in our process.
No doubt. And I want to ask you about your summertime here, making sure guys are mentally, physically ready to go. Really talk to them about really eating right, that prehab and rehab sick, and really hit the ground running in fall camp and be healthy throughout this 12-game stretch you have coming up here, starting with Rhode Island.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's take care of your body. And the rules that we have now in the NCAA allows us to be able to get 2 hours of football with them, even during the summer. And so what that allows, it old school ways. You went and did strength and conditioning. You were at the strength staff. You were away from the football. Man, that's not it anymore. You're doing football all year long, and you're doing football in the summer. And like I said, it gets around the position coaches. And position coaches are able to kind of teach those guys and develop those guys on what it takes to be a Division I college football player. And like you said, great point is, man, a lot of that is prehab, not rehab, and got to be able to take care of your body, and that's why. So it gives us a chance to kind of dip our toe into it a little bit without football season breathing down our necks, so we can have those conversations.
And what I think these young men understand, Braxton, the way me and you do, how important sleep is to their recovery process, how much you hydrate, how much what you put in your body that fuels it. Because I know when we was younger, we didn't know about that, but now with sports science, we have the data that says, hey, if we sleep well, we eat well, we hydrate well, it'll fuel us and keep us from getting the bad injuries that would happen as we play this game of football fast and fly around that football field.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we do every single day. Our kids come into our facility. They do a survey that answers exactly those questions. How many hours of sleep did they get? What's their hydration level? What's their stress level? What's their stress level academically, athletically, and socially? Because all those things factor into being the best version of yourself that you can be. So probably one of the things that we've tried to be on the front end in college football is like, we want to be able to provide an avenue and a resource for those guys to reach out when they're struggling in those areas, right? We're the world's worst, right? Men are the world's worst to ask for help, right? And so what we want to try to do is within our program, our 18 to 24-year-olds, maybe some older, right? And how this world goes nowadays, provide them an avenue that they could reach out and get the resources that they need. And that's why, but that's something we make our guys answer those questions daily. And then as a staff, we get that information. We're able to come back to those kids. Hey man, why you get 5 hours of sleep in the summer? You ain't got nothing else to do. You need to be getting 8 hours of sleep every day in the summer. You don't have the stress of 15-hour class load plus a football season. This is the time to really take care of your body. But sleep is the biggest recovery tool that you can use.
100%. And I think young men sometimes don't realize that you got to put down the Xbox and PS5, man, and just get that rest so you can really be effective on the field. And also, I want to ask you about this, man, the nutrition piece of it as well. I know having those armor drinks, having those boosts, those protein shakes. Talk about that when they lift these weights and really trying to get that muscle, they really chisel their bodies out. How much those energy drinks, those protein drinks, and that stuff really helps them as well. Make the workout in the weight room come into their bodies, be on the football field to be able to play fast and be strong when in there, whatever their assignment is, blocking or attacking, whatever they're doing.
Yeah, no, two things we push for is we push protein to our guys because the reality, most players need to be able to eat their weight in protein, right? So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need to have 200 grams of protein in your diet in a day. Most people don't have that piece. And so we try to be able to push extra protein to them. And then the hydration piece is key. Some guys are just natural sweaters, right? They're going to go outside. It's hot. It's humid. They're going to sweat more. And so instead of kind of old school thought is you drink after practice, right? We're trying to get our guys to drink the night before. We're trying to give them some extra electrolytes that their body needs before practice, so that you don't get that dip, like you said. We want to curve that spike of heat injuries and soft tissue injuries during camp.
100%. I want to ask you this, Braxton, man, for you, what have you seen growth and development wise from year 1 to year 2? In your opinion, has been the biggest things that you've seen the growth and development in your program since you've been head coach down here at Campbell?
Yeah, the biggest thing in year 1, man, you spend so much time just setting the standard for your players, setting the standard for your coaches, and holding that standard over and over and over. The biggest thing since January, what I've really been able to see in our team is them hold the standard. It has become their standard. It's not just my standard as a head football coach. It's got to start somewhere, and it starts with me, right? But then at some point, for us to be a good football team, it's got to be our standard. It can't be Coach Harris's standard. It's got to be our standard. And so when you see players doing those things and coaches understand those things, it allows us to be able to flow more freely as an organization where everything doesn't have to run through 1 or 2 people. Everybody knows. Everybody clearly understands what the expectation is. And so then it becomes a lot more free-flowing in that spot, right? And then it doesn't become a negative, right? When somebody's not meeting the standard, it's not a bad thing. It's just, man, I love you enough. I care about you enough. I see more in you. And when you can teach young men that that's where we're coming from, then then you got something special, right? And I think what we always try to remind our players is we all have the same goals in mind. Everybody that we brought into this program, we wanted them to see Campbell as an opportunity and an opportunity to show their skill sets, to be able to be a part of a winning team, about to show somebody. Maybe it's an FBS guy that dropped down and he wants to show that he can play. Maybe it's a coach, a head coach like me, showing I can go build a program in the CAA, one of the best conferences in the country. We're all the same, players, coaches, staff alike, that we're all here to be able to show what we can do, and we see this as an opportunity.
And Bryce, talk about that piece too, man. Like when you have that connectivity, a relationship, you can hold a guy accountable because he knows you care. He knows you're not just coming to him just to come at him. So talk about that piece of it, build that connectivity and have that relationship where you can hold your teammate or you're somebody on your staff accountable because of they know it's coming from a place of love, not from a place of hate or malice.
Yeah, that's probably be honest with you. It's funny. We've been talking about that this week. I've been meeting with our guys one-on-one. Biggest change in year 1 to year 2 that they've seen in me, because now they have more of a relationship with me as the head coach because I've been here longer. They start to see things differently, right? Year 1, everybody thinks man, this guy's he's just being a jerk and he wants to do it this way. Well, no, there's a reason that goes behind it. And the reason is I want them to be their best. I want them to achieve their goals. I want them to achieve their dreams. And to be able to do it's got to look a certain way in that spot. Sometimes, man, that just takes time, right? Just plain and simple. It takes time, right? And we don't like to say that because we're in a business that time is not our friend, right? But it takes time. But the other piece that we try to do is we try to be very intentional in those things. So we have Manhood Mondays all throughout every Monday in the summer. that they're broken into different groups. It's mixed all up. O-line maybe with a corner and corner. I mean, maybe all different groups. It's guys that are not usually together, and we try to put them in a group, and they get to be able to share experiences they have. We talk about different characteristics and character building techniques, and then we ask them. Like last week, we talked about where they had to share their heroes, their hardships, and their highlights of their life, and being able to open up and be able to connect and learn. Hey, man, what is your hardship? You may never know what that guy's hardship, right? We always judge people on the outside. We don't know what everybody's going through. At the end of the day, we don't know what that guy is going through, why he got here, how he got here. And so I think it's really important for our staff, our players, and our players to understand our staff, and our staff to understand our players. And we got to be intentional in that connection piece.
100%. You're so spot on with that, man. And also, I want to talk about this too. It's very important. Fans don't realize how important those GAs and managers are. Talk about the role they play for you guys, with being helping the guys on the field with different drills and helping you all around the office. So, talk about how important those GAs and those managers are, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We're fortunate here at Campbell. We've got a good group of guys, whether it's GAs and part-time guys that are kind of in the building, finding their foot. Man, they make things run, right? They make coaches, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, myself, the special teams coordinator, they allow us to really see a bigger picture of the program because they don't have to be in the nitty-gritty of everything, every single decision. That doesn't mean anybody's too good to do anything. In our program, we talk about nobody's above the broom, including me. So if something needs to get vacuumed, then I got to lead the way and show that piece, right? But if I'm doing that, then there's something else on a higher level that I'm not able to do, right? And so those guys allow us to be able to be really good at their jobs. And man, they're huge. Talk about those guys that have come in here and done those things. We've hired those guys full time because we trust them and they've shown their work ethic. And that's one of the things I think in college football right now, not to get on a soapbox for me, right? But everybody wants it given to them yesterday. Right, man. You and I have talked many times across my career. You know me when I was a D3 coach in the middle of nowhere, Texas, right? And just scraping and clawing and fighting for everything we got. And now I'm fortunate enough to be a Division I coach in the CAA. And so we never forget who you came from, and you never came where you came from. And nobody's too good to do anything. But I think young people nowadays that want to get into college athletics need to understand is that, man, you got to get in and build your resume. And you build your resume by the job that you do, where you're at. At the end of the day, I tell all our staff, and this is me included, my job is to make my boss look good because they hired me. And if I can make her look good as the athletic director, if I can make Dr. Downs, our president, look good, then, man, I've done my job. And that filters downhill to everybody in that spot. And so what we tell them, and this is me, I was taught this. I was fortunate to be taught this. Man, can they do the job without you? And if they can, then you're not bringing any value to the program, right? If they go, dang, Braxton's not here today, then that's a problem. That's where you want it to be in that spot. But those guys, and I tell you that, Campbell, we're a place that we want to invest in coaches. And so if there's young guys out there that want an opportunity to be GAs and get their foot in the door at Division I school and they're not afraid of work, man, Campbell's a great place to come to and learn.
100%. My dad always tell me, Braxton, be where you are. Make where you are better. When you leave, make sure you left it better than you found it. So that's I live that principle that my dad instilled in me from a kid on.
We talk about make the grass green. Don't always look on the other side of the fence. Wherever you're at, make that grass green. That's our job. It's not always, the grass ain't always greener. We're gonna make grass green where we're at.
100%, man. I want to ask you about the CAA, man. Since it's a tough league, man, top to bottom, so much competition up and down your league. Think about how cool is it to compete in a league that's where every week there's no quasi-bye weeks. You got to bring it every week, every Saturday, and strap it up, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at our 2024 schedule last year, right? We were the number 10 toughest schedule in college football. And you look at it, we only played one, money game in that spot. But then we played the CAA, and the CAA is tough, man. It ain't for the weak. In that spot. The fun thing is, man, you're competing against the best. As a head coach, man, we're trying to build a program that rivals those guys, and so you're comparing yourself to the best. Man, that's fun. It's a blast to be able to go compete every day. Man, you get to go compete in some great venues, right? Some great environments. Man, we get to go to places where you're playing that state's flagship program. I mean, how cool is that, right? In college football, to be able to go places that is the biggest university in that state, and everything's pointed to that. Man, that's fun. That's a great environment to be. It's great competition. The coaches are phenomenal in this league, and like you said, there ain't no off weeks. We only get one of those, and there ain't none that we playing on Saturday. I can promise you, that's for dang sure.
No doubt, man. You got a heck of a non-con schedule, man. I see East Carolina on there, NC State on there. You got Furman as well, right up the road there down in South Carolina, man. Talk about that cool to test your team test ups against great competition like Furman, East Carolina, this FBS, and NC State and Raleigh right there.
Yeah, you look at our two non-conference FCS. It's Furman, who has a rich tradition in the SoCon, and then Western Carolina, who last year was, I think, second in that league in the SoCon, and an in-state rival for us, right? Those are great games. We need to play those games every year, right? The great competition. And then you get to go play at ECU right up the road, NC State right up the road. Man, we recruit a lot of North Carolina kids. And so to be able to play those programs, I mean, here's just the facts. Some of those guys were overlooked by those people, and they got a chip on their shoulder, and they want to go prove that they can play at that level and play against those guys. And so those games are fun. Our guys love playing in them because we get to go measure ourselves and go compete. Anytime we go compete, man, we want to compete. It doesn't matter who's across the field. We want to make sure we compete at our level. And so those are fun games for our fans to be able to go to those places, great environments for our kids to be able to go play. But the reality is it's a game. Right? And it's a 60-minute game, and we worked our tail off all week for those 60-minute game, and we want to make sure we go compete for those 60 minutes.
And you know what, Braxton, I want to ask you is, in this new environment of college football, how important is it still to recruit freshmen who you can have in your program to develop in that pipeline and really get their bodies ready, get their minds ready, teach them the game of football? I just think that's still the basis of your depth, is to make sure you can get freshmen on campus who you can get in your program and get assimilated to the culture that you have.
100%. I mean, you got to build it with the freshman class that you bring in. We got 9 kids committed to us in our high school class right now coming up. And those guys are committed before their season starts, and they'll sign in December. Majority of them will be enrolled early in January. So the portal's going to hit, right? Guys are going to hop in the portal. That's the nature of college football right now. And so we're able to refill those spots in January with some high school kids, like you said, that we can develop. We still think at Campbell that we can develop football players. We're not just interested in going acquiring talent. We want to develop football players. And how you develop it is through a guy, the high school guy that understands the opportunity, that has his best football ahead of him. We don't want to see a finished product out of a high school film. We want to see a guy that you turn on his film and go, man, he's got a lot better in front of him. Here's how we can develop him. And when they step foot on our campus, we don't talk about what Campbell is and all those things. We talk about what we can do for that young man, how we can develop him, how we have a plan to make him better in that spot.
No doubt. That's what I got for you, Braxton. Man, I saw this on social media, your summer camps, your prospect camps. So talk about, first of all, how fun it is to have the kids on campus for summer camp. Then when you get those prospects on camp, so put those young men that can be a part of your program if they pop the right way.
Yeah, we had, between our prospect camps and our team camps, we had over 1,000 potential student athletes on our campus this summer. Man, that's huge. That's huge for not only Campbell footballs, that's huge for Campbell University as a whole. To be able to get those guys on. It exposes them. How cool is it that maybe a freshman in high school gets to come to a Division I school and they get to practice here and be here and see the facilities? And man, what I hope it sparks for some of those kids, man, I want to be here. I want to play at this place. I want the opportunity. And so that's a great thing. We get to be around the high school coaches and continue to build relationships with those guys, because those guys are the lifeblood for us. But then, like you said, man, we get over 1,000 student athletes on our campus. Man, there's some dudes now, and we threw out some offers this summer at some of those guys because they showed up and they showed out. And man, that's what we want our class to be, is guys that come in and compete, and they're not afraid to compete in summer camps.
No, Braxton, hope to talk to you during the season, man. When you're winning some big games, man, we can chat and celebrate that as you go. We're ready to go 1-0 next week, but we'll celebrate that great win that you have. So hopefully we'll win this season, man. I'm always cheering for you. I love our chats, man. I hope you wish you all the best, brother.
Likewise, man. I appreciate you having me on. Man, we're killing it in Georgia. We got over 9 kids out of the state of Georgia since we've been here, and so man, we're gonna keep pounding the pavement in Georgia, man. It's been good to us.
Yes, indeed. We love that. We love it here, Coach. We love it, man. I'll see you soon, brother. Thank you so much as always.
Appreciate you, man.
All right.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, You name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, family? Jared the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to The Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.